I'm Lit Girl 66. Today we're going to be talking about literary theory, in particular about autobiographical theory. The word autobiographical is a fairly recent word. It was only developed in the late 18th century. And fairly recently, in the 1970s, or late 1970s actually, it was 1976 I believe, was the autobiographical theory developed. Autobiographical theory bases its idea that there's a relationship between the creator and his work, so that the work actually says something about the author. Many times when you're in school, your teachers will often tell you, oh, don't you make assumptions that the writer of the text is the narrator, or that he or she is saying something about himself through the text. Well, yes, you can't always make that assumption, but that doesn't mean that you never should. At least that's what the autobiographical theorist believes. The autobiographical theory emphasizes the relationship between the author and his or her work, as well as the time period during which it was written. All of these things say something about the author. His creation is made from man. People write books, not computers. So they have emotions, feelings, they have experiences, and all of those things are things that they're going to draw on. So there is a relationship between the author and his or her text. For instance, in the case of Mark Twain, Life on the Mississippi, of course there's a relationship between the experiences he had and his writing. In many, many cases you can see, like in the case of Edgar Allan Poe, his deep depression, that reflected on his work. There are so many examples of this playing part, like in the case of James Joyce. You can see the need to write without stopping, without ever pausing. That idea is a concept that came exactly from his time period. He was influenced by people like Freud and the ideas of the unconscious. That was so much part of his life that it became, too, a part of his writing. A lot of the ideas that make people are from things that surrounded them. People do not live in a vacuum. They live surrounded by other people, and that influences them, as well as the things that happen during their time period. Or, as might also be the case by people like H.P. Lovecraft, from another time period. They might be influenced from the people that came before them. For instance, if you spend all of your time reading 16th century literature, of course you're going to be influenced by the text you're reading and the ideas that came from that time period. So that's all that I have to say for autobiographical theory. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you soon.